Hello Techies, welcome back to our channel UiPath by Sujita. In this video, we are going to see in detail about few debug options. Those are step into, step over and step out. So this is going to be a sure short question when you attend for any interview. So while debugging, what is the difference between step into, step over and step out? When to use step into, step over and step out? So not only for the purpose of interview, it is always suggestible to know in detail about these options, without which you may not use debug functionality as per its mark. Okay. So without knowing in detail, without knowing functionality of step into or step over or step out, you cannot cannot get the full-fledged experience in while debugging your automation, right? So this is going to be your very important or useful video. So please do not skip. Please watch till the end, so that this 15 to 20 minutes video will definitely help you out while you debug any issue in your automation, in your code. Okay, so now let us dive into this video, and before that I would request you to please do subscribe our channel, and for more videos please click on the bell icon and select the all option. Also, if you like our videos, please share with your friends and colleagues and give a like symbol. So let's not waste our time. So let us look into these options. Right. So first one, step into. In parallel, please open a notebook and pen and have make a notes of whatever your understanding on a with some keywords. Not exactly as per this notepad whatever I am showing here, but according to your understanding, so that it will help you to refer when it is needed, really needed. Okay, so in parallel, just open your UiPath Studio and create one project. I have created one sequence, that is extract data. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just extracting some data from an Excel file and traversing through, and I just use it one for each loop to just go through each and every row. This is just for demo purpose. Now let us see the step into and step out, step over option. See in the design ribbon panel, design ribbon, you could see the debug option here, right? One more tab, home, design, debug. So this is called debug ribbon. In this you could see step into, step over and step out options, right, with some symbols. Now let us know in detail why we need these steps. Okay, so first, step into. Shortcut for this step into is F11. Let us quickly make a note of this. It is F11. Okay, now why we use the step into? Step into. So we are asking the debugger to step inside something. What is that something? So when we use the step into option during debugging, so all these options will be available only when you are debugging your file. Okay, so when you are debugging your file or project, when you use step into, what the debugger will do, it will step into the container. Okay, step into will be used to execute each and every activity in your workflow file, in your project. Okay, so it will step into each and every activity without skipping anything. Not only that, if suppose you have some invoke file, when you are using this invoke file, and by the time debugger comes here, if you use step into, it will step inside this workflow. That means it will open this workflow and it will start debugging next activities, right? Understood? Right. Now let us have a definition for this. Let us quickly add this. First point is debugs activities one by one. Okay, Now next, what is next? I have already told you. So when we use step into, the debugger will opens and highlights the activities before executing. Okay, now let us note the other point. What is the last point what I said? If it is in workflow file, invoke. If in invoke workflow file, invoke workflow activity, or in any other containers in the sense, maybe say for example in for each loop, or in Excel the application scope and all these comes under containers, right? Because it will contain some other activities inside it, or any flowcharts, sequences. So all this comes under sequences, etc. So if it is in invoke workflow container, or in any of the containers, what it is going to do, it will debugger steps into the file or the container, and what it will do, it will so excuse me, and executes every activity inside it. Okay, I hope you got a clear understanding on this part, step into. Now let us look into the real experience, real time, how it will be useful while debugging. Okay, so now I have a demo here. I have one extract data file. So what I have one Excel file as well in the project. Now I'm going to add one breakpoint here on the top. Let us see how it will work. Okay, so let me start debug file. I'm clicking on debug file, right? So our concentration is just to use step into now, right? So as soon as we start the debug functionality, since that I have used a breakpoint on the outer level itself, it has come until here and it has stopped. Okay, it break the execution. Right now, on click of the step into, just see this blue one, blue outliner one, step into. I am clicking on step into. What it is doing, just look, just keep on observing. I just clicked. Now what it happened, it went inside the container. Excel application scope is a container which is containing these activities, right? The for each and the read range activities. So when I use step into, it went inside the, so the debugger is executed Excel application scope, and also it has it went inside, it stepped inside the container and started executing this activities. Okay, now click on step into again. It is moving on to next one. Now let us see, for each is also a container, right? And inside that we have one more activity. Now let us see what happens if I use step into. Right? Perfect. It is going inside. Now since that for each row will be an iterating, so it is a loop which will perform n number of times, n in the sense the based on the data number of rows present in the dt underscore table, right? So that many times it will be executing our right line activity, if you could see. Okay, perfect, understood. Now let me stop this. I'll show you one more demo on step into activity using workflow, invoke workflow file. So what I did, the same file I'm going to call invoke from main flow. Okay, let me keep a breakpoint on this. So what it will do, it will when I start debugging the file, the executor, the debugger will be breaking the execution here, since that we have a breakpoint. Now when I use step into, what it will do, what we have learned, when we use step into in invoke workflow activity, it will open, it will step into the workflow file. It will open the workflow file. Let us see how it is doing step into. Okay, exactly. See, it went inside the extract data, which is nothing but the file. So it is inside each and every. So it is again going inside each and every, yes, activities, right? I hope you got the meaning of step into, right? It is stepping inside each and every container to execute each and every activity inside the container. If it is used on the during the invoking a workflow file or any flowchart or sequence also, it will open that workflow file accordingly, right? Now let me stop this and let us move on to the step over activity, right? Let us go to our notepad. Step over. It is stepping over the activity. What is the shortcut for this? So the shortcut of this is F10. Okay. So F11 is step into, next F10. Okay. So let us see what it will do. Unlike step into, so unlike step into activity, step into, what this will do, this will not open the container. So that means it is not going inside the container. Okay, then rather what it will do, it will highlights debug the activity by highlighting the next activity. So it will keep on debugging each and every activity but not go inside the container. Say for example, we have, let me go back to our this one. Yes, say for example, we have for each and read range, two activities are there. What it will do, it will debug this, next step over, it will debug this, and then if suppose I have one more activity here, it will debug this. Okay, so that's how, but it will not go inside and it will not debug this. It is going to debug this, but it is not stepping inside each and every activity to show us, right? So it is going to execute it, but it is not going to debug, right? So let me show you this difference, and before that let us complete this. Yeah, I hope you are making a note of all these key points, right? So I could say that debugs the activity by highlighting the containers. Okay, containers. Okay, now let us move on to the next one. When we are sure about the thing, like say suppose we have some 2 to 3 containers, out of which I'm sure that this particular container, the issue might not be in this particular container. In such scenarios, I may not need to go inside each activity to debug each activity. It is a time consuming task, right? So in such cases, we can skip this. Okay, we can use this step over and we can skip to the next container and next activity. So to skip the containers which are not having the issues. Okay, so this is how we can save our time, right? Let us move on to this. Yes. Now let me start the debugging. Yeah, so I'm going to debug this file, the same file. Now you'll notice the difference using the step into and step out. When I use step into, it is going inside, right? Let me use the step into, and then what I'll be doing, I'll be using step over, right? Step over, and then see the symbol also explains better. So the activity is here, but it is stepping over to that. So it is moving to the next one. So see here, it is just highlighting the container, but not going inside it. When I click on step over, you just see it is not going inside the for each container, right? Notice the difference, right? So when I use step over, it is coming back. Okay, so that's it. So it is just highlighting the containers, rather it is not going inside. Let me stop this and I'll show you the difference even in main flow, because we have a workflow right here. Let me add one right line here. Okay, let us save this. Now let us start debugging file. So it is supposed to break here because we have a breakpoint here. Now just understand the concept. You just concentrate on the blue one, the highlighter. I'm just using step over. Okay, step over. Just wait. So what happened? It is not going inside this. Understood? It is not going inside the container, rather it has executed. You could see from the output panel, right? That's it. So it is stepping over, right? It is not going inside the containers. Understood? So now just stop this, go back to our notepad, right? Now let us concentrate on the step out. So what is the shortcut key for this step out is F9. Stepping out. Step into is stepping inside the container. Step over is just highlighting the container, rather it is not going inside the container. Step out is something which we need when we want to come out of the container. Say for example, a for each loop is there, some 10 rows I am going to do. Instead of keep on clicking using the step into 10 times, at particular point of time, say second row or third row, I got the exception. So now that I don't want that, I just want to step out of the container, and I want to continue the debugging with the other activities. In such scenario, to come out of the containers, we'll use the step out, right? So let me show you here. See the step out. It is coming out of this particular container. You could see the, it is shift plus F11. Excuse me. It is shift plus F11. So it is exactly opposite to this step into, right? So easy to remember. Even I learned this now. See, shift plus 11, right? Now, let us quickly make a note of what we have learned about this step out, right? Used for stepping out and pausing the debugging at the current container. Okay, current container. Okay, now so it is mostly useful in the say for example, if we have some nested loops or nested sequences, for example, so it will pause and it will step out of the current the sequence. Okay, and pausing in the sense the debugging will the execution will happen before pausing it. Okay, we will let us note this as well. Executes the activities in current container before pausing. We can say before pausing, okay, or before coming out of the container. Okay, so this is the use of step out. Let us quickly check the demo here. Now we have something called extract data. So I have this breakpoint as well. So let us start the debugging. So since that we have a breakpoint here, the executor has braked here. Now I'm just using step into so that I came inside this particular container. Next I'm going to use step into. Now on click of step into, my assumption is it is going inside this for each loop, right? my kid also explaining about this in parallel to me. Okay, just ignore that. So my assumption is it is going inside this for each loop, right? Step into, it is going inside. Now since that we have some 5 to 6 rows in dt underscore table, if I use step into, I am supposed to use some 6 times, right? It will execute the same thing for each and every row. Now I just want to come out of this loop. So I am clicking on step out. If you see here, it will come out of the loop. Just notice the change. Just wait for some time. Yes, exactly, it is highlighting the container, rather it is not, it has completed all the things. See here, you could see the line items in output panel. So that means it has executed for each row in the container, rather it has not shown us, right? It is just highlighting the container. Now I am going to click on the step out, so it is coming out of this as well, and then done, right? So this is the usage of step into, step over and step out. So let us recap what we have learned. Step into is used to debug each and every activity inside the container. So it will highlight each and every activity going inside the container. If we use the step into while invoking the workflow activity, the debugger will opens the workflow activity, workflow file, and then it will executes each and every activity in the workflow file as well. Next, step over. Step over we use when we want to just highlight the containers instead of going in deep to each and every container, right? So unlike the step into, this will not open the container, rather it will debug the activity by just highlighting the containers. And if you are sure about the activities, we can skip the containers using step over, okay? And step out, the shortcut for this is shift plus F11, because this is the opposite of step into. So when we are inside any loops or inside the containers, it will be used to come out of the loop or out of the container. So used for stepping out and pausing the debugging at the current container. So the most useful use case for this is using when we have nested sequences. So we can come out of the sequence and it will be highlighting the current container after executing the activities which are inside that. The same thing we observed when we are debugging the for each loop. So after executing the write line which is there in the for each block, so after executing the write line activity in the for each block, it has highlighted the container, that is for each, right? So this is what we have learned, step into, step over and step out. I hope you have no confusion now. So from now onwards, you can use this while you debug your automation project, right? So if you like this video, please do subscribe our channel, and for more videos, please use the bell icon and select all option. Also, please give a like symbol, and if you have any feedback or suggestions, please use the comment box over there and I'll check it out. Also, please share these videos with your friends and colleagues. Meet you through our next videos. Till then, happy learning and happy automating. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.